it's got to flip the camera.
What's going on, people?
What's up, Pat? I got my TikTok on here.
What's up? What's up? There's TikTok.
What's up? What's up? So I'll be trying to look for comments too, guys, so we could all interact and get some things that we want to talk about.
Hi, gentlemen. Hi, everybody watching tonight. Welcome back to Safety Meeting. I'm Big Pat. We got cousin JoJo. We got our buddy Derek. We're down here on a Friday night. We're about to do this damn thing. Let's get into it. Cheers.
Cheers. So what y'all been up to? What y'all want to talk about tonight?
I can't have that on the TikTok, so I switch really well.
Through TikTok.
I'll have you guys facing this way for a minute. Just keep it there. I'm sure a lot of you guys who work know what the meeting is.
Safety Meeting.
TikTok says hi, guys.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, hello.
So, right, I've been kind of out of loop, right? Because I've been doing the transition into the new place and started a new job and all that. But one thing that I did see this week for sure, that was one of the biggest distractions of 2022 so far, was did you see how the Supreme Court was tried to overturn the Roe v. Wade case?
I saw people talking about it, but I didn't know it was back on the TV again.
Well,
Jiminy.
now it's funny is because
I gotta wait. Somebody might tell on us.
No, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the case of Roe v. Wade, but it's kind of like the reason why we are at where we are at as a society right now. And
Zero. Sorry.
So Roe v. Wade was a case that was back in 1973, and it involved a person who wanted to have an abortion, right? But because they lived in a state where abortion was legal, they made it to where some states it's legal and some states it's illegal. That was the overall result of it, right? Making abortion a thing that we now talk about, unfortunately, on a day-to-day basis. Now, my question is, if it was illegal, okay, and it's illegal in a few states, why would the Supreme Court want to overrule that? Or why would it want to turn it over, making it to where abortion is legal in every state? That's a good question.
To strike divide, what better way to encourage people to fight than an abortion topic? Like, how else? Why else would they do it? That's what they're all about. They're dividing us because if we aren't divided, then we're united. And when people are united, they talk. And talking is how wisdom actually makes it to the next ear, not through, like, sure, we're talking on the internet, but word of mouth is an amazing way to learn. And they're keeping us from each other by dividing us with politics, religion, abortion. I mean, football even divides people for certain times of the year. Baseball, all of them. They all create this war amongst us within the community, whether it be psychological or we really just dislike them, like what was happening over in Portland. People were being shot in the head for wearing a hat that said Trump on it, right? So it's evolving into a violent movement, like this divide thing. And I have every reason to believe this is because of fluoride and all of the toxins that they're putting into our environment with the television. Like, people see shit on TV and it makes them act that way. They're training us how civilization responds in our TV. So people watch TV and they think this is what society is. And so they develop a character as they're growing up to try to fit into what the TV made society appear to be. And so they develop this character within them from watching a character on the TV that was perfectly placed in that position with that exact demeanor and habits and everything else to get the children to fall in love. And then as those people age, they'll turn those people into monsters. Like Miley Cyrus went from a normal girl to a monster. that Little Nas, normal dude, country folk to a monster. They're training kids that it's something to do, that this is just life. You go from country boy to devil worshiper. It's just something that you do. And they're training kids that it's okay to do this by putting it on the TV.
Now, the one thing that I want to add to about everything you said, and I agree with you, but all the things that you listed when you first started talking, from freedom of politics, freedom of religion, whether to abort, right? Those things are actually the last few things that humanity has left to decipher free will.
Well, and that's why they polarize it.
And they figured out a way to weasel it into your lives and make it of importance when really it doesn't fucking matter. Not one bit.
Not even
politics don't matter. The government doesn't matter. Your freedom of religion doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter what God you worship. It doesn't matter what your belief systems are. At the end of the day, you're still free to make that choice. And by creating all these new ways and these new avenues to mess with people, it's literally taking your attack on the last bit of free will that you have left. That's my opinion. What's your opinion, Joe?
Fuck the government. That's my opinion. Fuck them all. All right.
It's the biggest scam in history. What the heck do we need governments for? War? For
Exactly.
disease development? For weapon development? Oh, this is all good stuff. Let's hire the government.
Like, I'm sorry. I'm a grown ass man. I don't need anybody else to protect me, to tell me what I can or cannot do. Like, I'm pretty capable of figuring it all out by myself. Like, I don't think that we need governments.
Absolutely not.
Like, there's no reason for another man to be in control of another man, ever.
Right. But there's still a lot of blind out there. There's still a lot of reckless, instinctual, impulsive people that have no sense of direction, and they can only be led by somebody governing them. They're the sheeple, they're the blue pilled, and they need somebody to tell them where to shit, or else they're just going to shit their pants.
This literally goes all the way back to religion. To the start of religion is because religion people needed somebody above them to feel good. Like the Jewish people, not to be rude, but they wanted a king. They wanted somebody above, and they were being taught that they're all equal, but they wouldn't accept it. They're like, no, we need a ruler because look, they have a ruler. They have a ruler. We don't have a ruler. And so it literally ties all the way back. Like people would rather be under somebody's control than not. Not everybody, but a lot of people. Like prisoners would go back to prison before they would want to go home because
that's a big fact.
They're not ready.
True. Very true. But here's my thought about this. If you go back in all the different civilizations throughout history that have been documented in some way, shape, or form, you go all the way back to Moloch. And what was Moloch notorious for? Moloch was notorious for, in order to appease the god Moloch, children were sacrificed in the name of Moloch, so that way that god could be eternal, and those people were spared despair, right? Now, that was thousands upon thousands of years ago. And over the course of history, it has been documented that sacrifices have still been happening no matter what, right? Then you come forward to modern day times. Now, they can't get people to give up their children, but what they can do is convince them that they have a choice. And if they don't like the fact that they got pregnant, by whatever circumstances, they can go ahead and terminate it. Now up to 8 days after being born. How do people not put that together? That's a sacrifice, guys. That's paying homage to those fucking demigods.
The most commonly used symbol for Moloch is a giant eagle, or not eagle, owl. Sorry, I misspoke. I'm a little safe. And when they go to Bohemian Grove, what do they stand in front of and worship? And make sacrifices to? A giant wooden owl.
Yep.
Saying there's places that's 28 days after birth.
Right.
That's fucking ridiculous.
That is insane. I actually do remember hearing something like that pop up the other day.
But at the same time, if you take that same mother and she says, you know what, I don't want this kid, and does a horrible thing, which is horrible, and then throws it into a trash can, you're now going to charge that woman with murder. But if she would have went to a doctor's office and said, no, you can kill my newborn, it would have been okay.
I don't even know. how
Like
that's-
the whole concept of that to me seems asinine.
has a lot to do with the hold on guys, sorry. Has a lot to do with the like jibby jabs and stuff. Like, you know, that they require living fetus cells,
Yes.
from, like, livers and kidneys and brain cells from a living aborted fetus, and that they need those to develop the jibs and jabs that they, you know, think we all need so bad, because, you know, who doesn't want that? And it's all tied into their worship of who they think is God. And that's why they've been sacrificing babies for so long, and that's why it's continuing.
I kind of feel like there was a Disney movie that told us about this. Monsters, Inc. That's what it was. You know, remember the movie where they said that they were harvesting kids' sphere or adrenochrome, whatever you want to call it.
Through fear. Yeah.
It powered their whole universe.
Yep. And I believe that's a lot like this. Like, these things don't have energy like us. Like, you could think about it like this. So imagine someone's having a bad day and they like making fun of people, right? And so they get online to make fun of somebody and they're having a bad day. And they get online to make fun of somebody. And now that they interact and they fight, and that person who they were interacting with is now upset too. That makes that other person happy. They live like, it literally adds chemicals to their brain and makes them in a happier state of mind because they caused somebody conflict. And
Right.
that's energy harnessing. Like, they needed your energy for them to feel good. And this is why they do this. There is no other freaking excuse for it. None.
Now, for all those people that are tuning in and may have not have heard anything about this that we've been talking about this evening, let me just ask you all a question. Let's break the fourth wall here. What do you really think foster care does for families that are broken up? What do you think the CPS is really used for? What do you think? Why do you think it's so how is it so convenient that now this is the part that people are going to go, man, put your fucking tinfoil hat back on. But why is it that in every single Planned Parenthood facility, there is approximately 1 mile from there a McDonald's? Now, it has been proven and it has been tested that they have found human DNA in McDonald's food for a couple of years now. It's not a new thing. They broke the case, I believe, in 2015.
Hold on, Pat, real quick. Because as former fast food restaurant workers, we can attest that we have seen people do some nasty shit to people's food.
Facts.
So how do we not know that this food that they tested, that the employee just, you know, didn't hock a loogie on the burger real quick, then cover it with mayonnaise? See, even he's done it. He doesn't look like the type of guy.
No, I want to say something.
Oh,
You know
my
those
bad.
factories that are burning down? No, I couldn't do that to somebody. I've seen people do it, but no, I have the guiltiest conscience on the face of the earth. What's going on?
But I say, oh, shocked. He doesn't look like the type of guy.
My live ended? What the fuck? I wonder if it booted me off because you guys were smoking. No, what the fuck? It literally just shut down my live for no reason.
Well, it's because we're talking about truth.
Right?
That's
Yeah.
what happens every time we talk about truth.
I normally get banned
Oh,
every
weird.
week on TikTok
It
Live.
didn't ban me.
Every
It
weekend.
literally just kicked my live off. Just cleared the
Oh, that's
room.
crazy.
Yeah, literally. Sorry about that, guys. That was freaking weird. I'm gonna put you back on. But so those meat buildings that were burning down, right? They've been testing those, and the meat that was burnt in there that was like on the factory line and stuff was tested positive for that. Sorry, I gotta block that. I don't want you guys to get kicked off. It was testing
that's
positive.
completely
3 of the 15 that they tested had had DNA in them from, and that's brand new. That's just been going on the last 2 months. And sorry, guys, I got to cover it so you don't get kicked off. But that's brand new. That is literally the last 2 months. And there's 15 in the United States and 1 in Canada. So 16 around us that got burnt down. And they found DNA from in it for real. And like they found a whole slab of people like hanging like a half a beef. And then also ground up and packaged meat that was already set to go out to the consumer. Bad. I think that's why they burnt down, though. Like maybe something is happening. Maybe the good thing, like those needed to go, or maybe they're doing it to induce a famine.
No, wasn't it? I believe when I read it, it was the one it was in South Dakota that got burnt down because a plane crashed into it.
Oh, big shocker there. Could never have guessed they'd do that.
Right.
Like,
I just don't know how, but while the other ones are burning, this one just accidentally, the engines died, 2 miles out. And it just made, I'm going to just take out this factory rather than this housing complex.
I don't remember if you said it earlier when you were on Just Your Live before Pat was here, or if you said it while on this. But earlier you were talking about how you think it's all got to do with like the Nazis. What the fuck? I'm having a stoner moment. My bad. Never mind. Just keep going.
Neo-Nazis?
I'm like, did I?
No. The fluoride. It all had to do with fluoride, mind control, and shit like that. So what if this is more of a spiritual aspect where like they're casting a mass spell on people by forcibly making them, be cannibals without knowing it? Because if you look at all these tribes and shit like that have very, very small human contact with like modern day humans that still live at like the roots of how our ancestors lived. If someone dies in the tribe, most of these members eat the body because they feel like if they eat the body, that the essence of what was that person comes back to them and stays within them forever. So that person never really leaves. Right? So what if that's what they're doing? And they're just using it in a way that it really is used as more of a black magic than it was way these people are doing it. You get what I'm saying?
I think they're sneaking it into us and leaking it out because we have to accept it, right? Like they've always got to show us what they're doing so that they don't feel guilty of it. Like the karma, there's a few different reasons people believe that, but I don't know if you guys ever watched like a vampire show. The vampire can't just come in your window when you're sleeping and suck your blood. It has to knock and it has to you have to welcome the vampire into your room so it could suck your blood. And if you don't welcome it in, it cannot come through your window. And I believe they've always been showing us like to our face, and your subconscious mind is not rational at all. So like what that means is when you're watching a movie and your heart starts to race or you get scared, it's because your subconscious mind can't differentiate between reality and that. Your conscious mind can, and that's why you don't go running out of the room. But the freaking and like the heart racing and all of that, that's your subconscious mind causing your body to have the reactions you would have if you were in that situation, because it is not rational. It only inputs data. All of the data comes in, your conscious mind goes over the data. Your subconscious mind can intake 30 million bits of information a second. 30 million, right? You are only aware of 40 bits, not 40,000, not 40. 40 bits of that information is all you're processing. So that means everything you're looking at is only 40 out of 30 million bits of information that your brain is intaking at every single second. And this is something that they've known for a long time. And your subconscious mind is developing until you turn 7. So when you're born until you're 7, you are not fully conscious. You're not completely self-aware. You become self-aware as you build your subconscious mind. It's the programming in which you're going to operate on. This is a scientific fact. And so up until you're 7, this is when children have problems overcoming certain habits in their life or fears or whatever, is because they were pounded into their head at a young age. The masking, the teaching children to be afraid of other people right now, those children who are under 7 are forever going to have severe problems. They will never be able to come back out of this like you or I could, because they're inputting data. Now they're inputting all of the bad stuff. And this is like, I mean, there's a crusader, I forget his name, but one of the crusaders who went around for the Vatican murdering people said, give me a child until you are 7, or until he is 7, and I will show you the man. Because up that 1 to 7 develops the children. And then from then on, it's like, imagine your subconscious mind is inputting the data for a movie, and then you play it afterward. So like all of that comes in, and then it comes out, and that's what's happening. And they are using this. They've known about it for years. They're using this to slowly divide us away from our parents, and divide us away from truth and reality altogether.
Facts. I've been experiencing it.
It's sad.
The fact that kids nowadays, like, there are 4-year-olds that could probably navigate a tablet better than I could. And that's just, and then it's so natural.
Well, my
that-
2-year-old can navigate a tablet better than you. Stevie
Right.
could get better. I guarantee you, Stevie's better on the internet than you.
Right.
He can't speak to you, but he can get on fucking YouTube.
It's because by the time we awoken, let's going off of what Derek was saying, like after 7 years old, and we started to wake up and become our own conscious self during that time period, like we didn't have these amenities like kids have nowadays. We didn't have unlimited access and information at the tips of our fingers. We had to learn every single thing one sentence, or not one sentence, but one topic at a time, one line at a time. And if you didn't absorb it, you weren't able to pass, right?
Facts. You didn't know a word, go look in the dictionary.
So nowadays, like, they have so many different fucking programs out there for kids, and I swear it puts them into zombie mode. And in those moments, I feel like you could go 2 hours without blinking. Right?
Do you know why that works? Do you know how come that's the thing?
Do I know how?
Like, yeah, there's a scientific
evil.
reason.
That's why it's intended for them. It's targeted to them. It's pandered to them. In this age bracket, from this to this, we're going to give you these series of psychological problems for the next 10 years. So that way the psychiatrist can make money off of you. And you're going to believe that it's your fault as a parent because you're not doing right by your child, when in fact it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the content being absorbed.
How many of like, do you guys remember what a computer would look like when you'd shine a camera on it when phones first came out?
Yeah.
It's because screens all flicker. Every screen is flickering. It looks constant to us because it's moving so fast that your conscious mind cannot see it. Your subconscious mind does, because it's inputting way more data. So it's flickering, right? Well, this is how they hypnotize people, is a flickering. When your brain is watching TV and it's like flickering, it literally puts you into a trance mode, and you go into a trance. And so all of that data that's coming in bypasses your conscious mind, and it gets stored into your subconscious, where you will act on it later without even knowing about it. They flicker stuff in those flicks. They'll put something in it very evil that you'll never see. But if you were able to really slow it down, like super slow, there'd probably be all kinds of stuff in SpongeBob and all of the cartoons that children watch.
Everything.
You can even go on YouTube, and there's people that's actually done it, broke it down, slowed everything down, and shows you a lot of the shit. I guess in Lion King, and one of the scenes where the smoke was coming up from the stampede, it said sex.
Right?
Cigarettes aren't illegal, Derek. You don't have to worry about that. This is a cigarette, guys.
I'm getting a complaint on the glare, so I'm just going to hold the phone. It was super dead earlier, so sorry about that, guys. Hopefully that's going to be better for you. But yeah, well, I got to get in.
So, Pat, I got a really pressing question for you, bro. It's been scrolling for a while now. Which one is the S or the C silent in scent?
S.
Are you sure?
Well, scent, you add the S in front of the actual word scent, because scent is C-E-N-T. But I think C is only soft at the very beginning. So if it's the first letter, it's soft. But if there's a letter before it, it's not. So I don't know where. I don't know.
But scent could also be S-E-N-T.
Yeah, scent. Depending on if you're talking about the currency or the verb, or yeah, there's different types because scent is also a noun. The
Oh
money.
no, I'm talking about the smell.
Yeah, and then there's smelling, which is a verb. So depends.
Scent. I would have to say it has to be the S or the C. C would be silent. That makes
I think it'd be the C, but
sense.
yeah, I don't know. That's a funny
I
question.
sent some cents to my friend for a few cents.
Exactly.
Yes, patents on scent. Somebody's agreeing that it's S, I believe. Oh, is that reflection better? I hope you guys. Sometimes it's shining on it, but I hope that works better for you guys. My camera keeps going in and out for whatever dumb reason, but
Dark as hell where I'm at.
Random Facebook user says it's C.
let's see.
Got a good old debate going.
Uh-oh. I wonder if there's going to be any Globe people come in and tell us what's up and how dumb we are for arguing about it.
You know, it was funny. I did actually share it in a couple groups to where there was like all those anti-flat earthers, and none of them showed up. None of them wanted to argue.
It's weird when they don't show up, right? Because these people like to mock and ridicule, and they get off
Yeah.
stuff, dude. So for them to not show up is kind of funny. I wonder what happened.
The problem is,
Yeah.
is nobody can prove a globe. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's you guys. I hope nobody in here thinks that we're a globe because that's just ridiculous.
We're not a ball. We're not even a sphere.
You guys should look into like torus field and magnetic existence. That shit is awesome. If you guys are super intrigued because of like space, like look at my room. Look at this. This is above my bed. I love space. I'm wearing a space sweater, right? I love it. I think it's awesome. You should look into magnetic existence. I'm going to put a video on my I'll ask the guy in first, but there's a really amazing guy who explains it better than I've ever seen anybody break it down ever. And like, because there's no working model of the flat earth. I'll be the first to admit that. This model that like he's showing is like amazing. I will ask him if I could post some, but it's just a torus field. It's because magnets push and pull, positive and negative. And so it creates in the southern hemisphere, we get a different effect than the northern on the star. It literally explains everything that everybody's asking. And it's cool. So very cool for sure. The truth is awesome. I wish I could make mine bigger, but
It's not just a saying. The truth does set you free.
I mean, I never thought about people crying about this, but there are people who it really hurts them where they actually do cry. And you know, it's
I don't want to cut you off, but imagine growing up your whole life wanting to be an astronaut. Like you literally you studied physics and ergonomics and aerodynamics, and you studied all these things to further your education. To never really get the chance to leave. He had a moment. Apparently, he doesn't talking about magnet.
I don't know. I hope he can get back in. Should be able to.
See, what happened was it was the Decepticon.
You think?
Every time, man. Whenever we talk about real shit, they don't like it.
my bad. I hit a button.
Welcome back.
But what were you asking me?
I don't know.
Me either. Too safe. Too safe. They are listening. Yeah, I hit a button and my laptop doesn't like it'll save everything except the last thing I was on, and it makes me want to smack it with the hammer. So like it'll have something on the bottom here that I haven't seen in a week, but whatever one I was just using disappears somewhere into the taskbar, and I'm just like, how?
Fucking weird.
It is so stupid. It drives me nuts. So I always have to go back and start from the beginning. Ridiculous.
So I got a question for both of y'all. And
I hope
I've been saying it every day to my kids, and I never thought about carrying it over to safety meeting. So why not add it this evening?
Soft top.
Who?
Oh, you weren't. Never mind. Just continue with your question.
Here's the question. Did you learn something today?
Did you learn? So I try to learn something every day. Yes, I learned.
Joe,
something.
did you learn something today?
I always learn something.
What did you learn today?
That you're an asshole.
Well, we already know this.
Okay, then. But I'm just saying. Well, I learned it also. I also learned it again today.
Oh, it's a refresh.
A refresher.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah.
What's up, Blue?
What about you, Derek? What'd you learn today?
I think today I learned some more about the torus field Earth and how an atom is shaped like each like realm, and how there's a push and a pull, and that the flat plane of existence is in the middle of it where we exist, and there's magnetic over, and then there's one under. It's a push and pull like that, and that's what all of the realms are, and that's why atoms are shaped like they are. And that's how you actually align your chakras, so that way there you could move your energy up, is by learning how to control the energy in your body. You could polarize your atoms to be in line, because they mimic a magnet. Like, I'm gonna find this video and get it. It's awesome. Super freaking cool. It was so insane. Estuaries. Somebody learned about estuaries. I think that's something about the water, if I remember correctly. I'm bad with words sometimes.
I learned today that tornadoes really do just pop up out of nowhere.
You one?
They really do just pop up out of nowhere.
Did you see one?
It was like, I want to say, visibly seen from about, I would say, give or take 10 miles out.
That's insane. Big old dust one.
Not really. It was just a water spout, but it was
Oh, those are cool. Those
just
are
come
cool.
out of nowhere. And yeah, it was interesting. We were, so I just moved this past week, right? So we're still getting used to everything, getting all settled in, started a new job and all that. And so we're going to explore a little bit, check things out, see what's up, see where the fuck we're at. So we go to Mooresville, which is like a 32-minute drive, because we live out in the middle of nowhere, so therefore it takes a while to get everywhere. And man, like, on the way there, it was clear, but you saw these clouds come in, and it looked completely ungodly. Like these amazing clouds that looked
Like
to be
Earth.
miles tall, like massive. And I'm like, man, if those motherfuckers collide, those are like tornado conditions. Just so happened to get a tornado warning that it could possibly be one in the air. So we go into the store, and as we're in the store, we hear the sky just drop, man. And it sounds like they're dumping buckets on the roof. Yeah, man. To go home, to see it off to the left, about 10 miles out, to drive like through to our house, like, man, there was trees down, there was shit everywhere.
That's crazy. Tornadoes are sketch as hell.
Right. I'm from the north. We don't have tornadoes. We have blizzards, right? And we got hot. That's it. We got hot. We got rainstorms.
Yeah, I'm from Arizona, where it cooks. It's freaking smoking hot in Arizona.
Right. It's been in the 80s all week here, and coming from being in New York, where it's been in the 60s, 50s, 40s still, at night, it was a huge adjustment.
Listen, it was 70. It was 72 today.
Yeah.
Give me shit.
I bet you everybody was outside too.
And they were all in like t-shirts and shorts, and I'm over here in a hoodie and in sweatpants. Like, dude, you guys are crazy. It's still cold out.
Right. What's the weather like where you're at?
It is cold and rainy. It's probably like 40 degrees, maybe a little less. I don't know. I didn't look at the temperature, but cold and rainy and windy.
Are you closer to the ocean, or are you more inland?
No, we're right in we're Central Oregon, so right on the other side of the Cascade Mountains. So like we're in between the Cascade Mountains and then the high desert. So to the west, we got a largest ponderosa pine forest in the world, and then to the left is a desert with rivers and stuff in the middle. So it's like you could do deserts and then snowboarding, and it's like the ultimate outdoor area. Tons of rivers for kayaking and stuff like that. It's awesome.
Shout out to anybody that remembers Ponderosa restaurants, though. That's instantly what I thought of when he said Ponderosa Mountains.
I feel like I remember that, but are they closed down?
Yeah.
I mean, they all of them out this way are.
Yeah, because
They
maybe
used to
they're
be
different over here. Because I think there's like Ponderosa cafes and stuff, but probably different.
Yeah, no, this used to be like a buffet, sit down, like restaurant type deal. You'd come in, you can get the buffet, or you could get like a steak dinner and shit like that.
That's awesome. Do you think that the tornado was HARP though? Like if it just came blasting in like that, do you think they're like controlling the like pushing blasting radiation through there? Or like not radiation, but you know.
Well, I mean, we all can say that we know that HARP exists.
They admit that
We
shit.
can all say we understand what their intent is. We also understand that every day when we go outside, we look and we see planes flying overhead, spraying chemicals into the air.
Last time we talked about them on this channel, we got
conspiracies.
banned.
These are facts. You see them with your own eye. It's physical.
We read right off the website.
It's insane.
I said the last time we talked about these people, we got banned. Reading right off
Really?
the website. Yeah,
Are you
we read.
serious?
Yeah, we whole episode got us banned for on YouTube for like a good
On
couple
YouTube?
weeks.
What?
Yeah, on YouTube for a good couple weeks. We couldn't post, so we went to Rumble, and
Did you?
we were reading word for word right off of their website, and they flagged us for misinformation.
That's crazy. Did you see how they said that it bounces the signal off of the ionosphere? I just love that they admit that. Like the thinnest layer of our atmosphere is what stops this massive amount of energy that gets shot from surface to the fucking thinnest layer, sorry for my French, in the atmosphere, and that stops it. Somehow stops it. Like all of the thick gases it goes flying through has no effect. But when it gets all the way up to the ionosphere, it bounces off of it. Like I'm like, you guys know what they're saying there, don't you? The dome exists. Like you do realize that. Like how else could that be even a thing? Like
using vibration and current.
Yeah.
I mean, they even told us our whole life in school when they were trying to describe it as a ozone layer
with a hole in it.
Yeah.
How does nothing have a hole in it? That's what I want to know. Could you poke a hole in the air in my room so I could observe that real quick? Or like what's up with that? Like, I'd like to see that scientifically experimented on, please.
I don't even really think that would work, man. It kind of seems like that'd be like poking a hole in a airplane at that point, wouldn't it?
I'm like, well, definitely don't really try to go through the dome, but like if there was a globe, how is there?
And that makes sense for a black hole, though.
Because they say it's all moving with us. So where's this hole at exactly? That it's, you know what I mean? Like where exactly was this hole at? If we're moving and it's moving with us, could you point it out? And why isn't it tearing open?
What if the hole is nothing more than what they could say in science is a black hole, which would be the black sun, which they say is what really powers everything? I'm just throwing out what ifs.
Yeah, that's what that guy who has the disc where it's like the flat disc in the middle of the energetic field, the black sun is powering it all, and it's invisible. And the rest of
I've seen this video.
Dude, it's awesome. It is awesome.
Like he's got like this little disc that he puts on this table.
Oh,
that's got like a little magnetic track that goes around, and no matter how you push this disc, it stays 100% level and based in everything. I think I've seen this video.
So,
and then he even flips the table upside down to prove that even if the magnetic force was on top, it still stays stable and on the same course.
Yep. So that's the spinning one, but there's because there's multiple. It's coming out because I did see the CD one where the guy drew the Earth as this, like showed a CD first and then drew it, and then I saw the one with the floating disc that you were talking about where it could go under the table or on it. But
yeah,
this guy, like, he's done his homework. Everything he says, it's all written out and like presented Like he writes it all out and he has proof of everything that he's saying and he's showing it all. And it's awesome. Like it's awesome. His page is awesome. I'm going to share it for sure.
Yeah, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. And to be honest with you, I felt the same way when I seen it. Like I have a thing I say to Pat all the time. You feel truth when you hear it. You feel it. So that's it, and that's what makes you go more towards it, right? And that's exactly how I felt when I watched that video.
When you resonate with something, it's because you're on that level. Like, and that's why for the life of them, these low vibrational people cannot see the freaking truth for nothing. It's because they're trying to tune in to 106.5 down there on 88.6. And they're like, you're stupid. It ain't all I get is static, you know? And like, they're like pretending like you're the dumb one. You're like, dude, you just need to like pick up on something. Like, what are you doing?
That's why I just let people think I'm stupid and roll on with it, man.
Right.
You guys can think what you want. It's all right. We'll find out when we all die eventually when we get clarity.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, we're not in our home. This is a little in between spot. It's like a classroom, for lack of a better word. You know what I mean? Where we go to learn.
No, 100%.
People have been tricked into thinking this is life, so they sacrifice their DNA and they do all of this crazy shit in the name of the government, and because they think the government's going to save them.
Science. It's in the name of science.
It's so sad to me. And then what makes it worse is that I get mad because I just have a hard time with it. Because I'm like, I wish sometimes I could just not match your energy. So I like bought necklaces and shit. Like, I don't know where it's at, but I tried it for a few days, like an amethyst. I had an amethyst bracelet that I broke. My dog gets the stuff, but like, I'm trying to like be able to leave the energy and let me try to communicate. But some of these people are just helpless as hell. I've tried though. I've definitely tried.
I mean, I think we need the negative energy though.
It's important for learning. For
yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Without it, we just always stay on the same path, thinking that we already have everything figured out. Those negative people and those people that look at things so fucked up, it makes us reevaluate things for that moment.
Well, and also it's like I've seen like a breakdown on it where it's how you recognize, because without it, you wouldn't know it. So like you're using your free will to reject it. Like you see it and you're like, no, thank you. And you choose not to act like that. Instead of that, you do this. And so like I think it's super psychological. I think this place that we are in is so mental, like just so mental that's why they're fucking with their heads so bad, is because we're in control here. We have authority. We're in charge. And we've been tricked into thinking it's not like this and manipulated through material goods and like lies and fear and the scarcity, resource scarcity and all of that has created this weird like fear for something that doesn't exist and looking at a government who has no intention on helping them. And it's like, how do you help that? Like how? What are you supposed to do to get these people to wake up? They're like, it's like trying to help somebody who's drowning. They're gonna drown you. You've got to knock them over the head and then swim them back. Otherwise, these people are gonna pull you down because they're so afraid, and it's just so hard for them to comprehend what they need to do that they'll panic and they'll start kicking and screaming and flapping and they'll pull you down with them. And it's why it's like it's the weirdest thing ever to feel like you like need to say something to help people, and to get that kind of response is so weird. It is like, I mean, what do I need to tell you this shit for? Really? Like, what do I need to, you know? Somebody on here is literally saying that I'm getting paid to do this. I have been getting 3-cent donations for like 3 months, 4 months that accumulated to $20, but TikTok has never given me $1. It's like you and the $20 is still on my phone. I haven't even taken it off because I'm not in it for the money. I'm not doing it for that. I literally wanted to help one person, and it turns out that there's a lot more people out there who aren't beyond saving. And there are a lot of people who are helpless and violent and just angry.
But at the same time, people are waking up every day.
Yes.
More
Absolutely.
and more and more. It's happening. And if you can't feel it, it's like this, right? The programming is so deep. It's so deep. And the only way for you to even comprehend or understand everything is you have to let go of your ego and know that you have to accept that you have been lied to your whole life and your parents have been lied to their whole life. And every day our lives were fucked with and controlled and we didn't even know it. Okay? And that's a hard pill to swallow because people like, no, man, I know, I know, I know. Well, if you know, then why does everybody's story the same? Why do we all have so many struggles? Why is it that we've had to come down to those times where it's like, put gas in my car or eat? You feel me?
You know why? For the people on top to have more billions, right? Like I literally heard the McDonald's guy arguing that he can't raise minimum wage to $15 an hour because I would lose $10 billion a year of my 30 or 40 billion dollars that I'm profiting. And I'm like, all I could think of is like, you better not ever say that around me. I'll whack you over the head so fucking fast. I won't even be funny. You need more billions, more, right? Like what kind of mental person is that? Like you're gonna let people build your billions, live on food stamps, and drive a sputtery car to work, and live in slums and send their kids to school dirty and with bad shoes, and all of this. While this person sacrifices their life for you, you're gonna be okay with this because you want more money. Not like you're trying to feed your family. You want more of it than you could ever spend. That shit pisses me off. And it makes me even more mad when somebody says, well, they earned it. No, they did not. These people did not. Who knows the story of McDonald's? That guy is a monster. The real McDonald's was awesome. The guy was awesome, but it got hijacked by an evil, sick person who literally stole McDonald's from McDonald's. If you don't know the story, it's evil. It's an evil spot, and the people who run it are evil.
So I kind of think this theory goes great with what you both were just talking about. So let's say that string theory and multiple dimensions and different universes, all that shit's real, right? Our world, our dimension, our existence is nothing more than a prison planet, right? We all did something in a past life. Our energies did something that warranted us being here, right? Because like you guys have both described, everyone's life, does not matter who you are, where you're from, what your background is more misery than it is joyful.
Well, have you ever heard of the law of one?
Nah.
So
I mean, I probably have, but I'm safe right now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say no.
So it is a hypnosis like thing that people were revealing back in the 60s, maybe later than that. Don't get me lying. Anyways, what it says is that we are all like sparked and we go on a journey, and some people choose selflessness where you're not selfish, you're helping. And then other people choose selfishness. And the people who choose selfishness choose that because the people who are selfless need to reject it and be able to help somebody. Because if everybody was selfless, there wouldn't be anybody to help. Everybody would be doing great. And so because of the need for lacking and the need for this suffering that we're going through for our souls to learn, because I could tell you the stove is hot, but unless if you touch it, you don't know what hot is, right? If you've never felt it. And so we're here for that real experience because you're an eternal soul here forever. And so you have to experience this kind of thing to appreciate eternity. So like coming down here and suffering and stuff is your way of like learning how to be grateful. And the people who choose to be selfish, their journey doesn't make them back to the same spot until they go backwards. So like they have to suffer really hard to be able to go back. And so like every single soul, in order to get to the higher realm, you have to suffer in order to be like it's like a video game kind of where you're like learning in that kind of thing, and everybody's evolving
I follow what you're saying.
Behavioral way and not like a physical thing kind of. So it's pretty interesting. Like everything, I think it's got some lies and some truth. I don't believe anything's at all whole truth. This is why it's important to look around, This is why they divide us, because if we're divided, we're not speaking. And when we're not speaking, we're not sharing information. And a lot of this wisdom has been chopped up and spread around the world. So we would fight and not be able to connect the dots and get ourselves out of this evil place that we call Earth. Like something bad is going on here. Like, and they've trapped
So
us.
how do you know you have wisdom?
How do you
Here's
know
my
you have
example.
wisdom?
How do you know you have wisdom? You always hear about it because you hear your elders and how your elders had wisdom because they had knowledge that you couldn't even grasp. So how can you prove wisdom?
How do you prove wisdom? I think wisdom is better accepted as a personal truth. Like for if you are, some people aren't very wise and they give wise advice to someone. So I think it's almost like relative to the situation, because you could not be wise, but be able to deliver a wise, helpful remark to somebody. So
So here's
what
a
is
good point.
wisdom? Wisdom would be something helpful. Like if you've experienced it and you can, talk from that angle, maybe, I don't know.
Have you ever went to go do something and when you started doing it, you realize you already know how to,
Yeah.
but don't remember where you learned it?
Yeah.
That's wisdom from your past life. These are things that your body remembers, but by muscle memory. It's a fact.
It's all like people think our memories stored all up in here, and every cell, every strand of DNA stores all of your memories. So like it's everywhere. You're everywhere in your body. Like you're the whole thing.
Yep.
Just you're it's your avatar, but like all of it, every piece of you. And this is why you need to learn to be in tune with yourself. Like learn how your body feels, learn how to breathe. Like focus on your breath. If you focus on your breath for 5 minutes a day, you're going to end up doing it for 10 because you're going to like it. And you'll end up working your way up. And focusing on your breath is one of the greatest ways to get control over your mind. If you have a mind that's always worrying and you have a hard time thinking things through and you're just like, just only think about your breath and just sit there and do that and let the thoughts pass like clouds in your mind. Right? Like, don't try to grab them. Just appreciate that they're there and let them go. And don't dig into them. Just kind of let them go. And do that while you're focusing on your breathing. And within 2 weeks, I guarantee you'll be happier. It'll be easier for you to listen to people and have like it's very important that you get control over your body. Very important. This is one of the biggest cover-ups is who we actually are. You're an energetic being. You're being electric, energetic.
We are amazing.
So Pat, this person really wants to know what you think on your thoughts are on the memory wipe.
So I think the memory wipe is like your brain itself, right? So I think that you're an eternal soul that has all of your knowledge already, and your brain is not this device that's meant for being smart. It's meant for intaking data and then like you operating on that data and that data alone. So it's like a clean slate and you could only operate through it. Like all of your DNA has all of your everything, but your brain and your consciousness is where it's all processed. So all of your memories get filtered through your brain. And because your brain is new to you when you come into the earth, it is separate and you access your old wisdom through breathing and focusing on yourself and going inward and literally just like you have to learn how to breathe. Like it's very important because you bring the energy in your root chakra up and you get it into your higher self. And this is where your memories and your access to the Akashic and all of your real truth comes from. And so, yeah, you're like, I've been thinking about this for a while. Your brain is not like this device that's smart. It's an empty slate that you program as you're growing up and as you're living. So for the world, for this world, and when you leave here, you have all of your wisdom because you come from a greater place. And so you're just down here experiencing this through the avatar so you could forget that you are an eternal being, so you could appreciate life and death, so that you appreciate eternity, right? Because if you're eternal, you don't appreciate life and death because you don't know what death is. So people could be ruder. It could be a weird thing. Like if you never experienced something like this, eternity could be really weird and stuck up and stuff like that if you have free will. But when you come down and you suffer and you're forced to suffer to graduate, you appreciate not suffering and treating people nicely because you don't want them to suffer, because why would you? You don't like suffering, right? And so this is kind of what I believe evolution to be. Is not like a physical change. It's your soul is learning and grasping different emotions that could only be felt in this realm. All of the hypnosis said that Earth is the only place. Everywhere else doesn't lack, and lack creates all of your problems, all of them. Because without lacking, there is no suffering at all. Period. There is none. No lack, no suffering. Because people suffer for lack of love, lack of money, lack of substance. Lack makes you suffer. Okay. Without lack, you don't suffer. This is the only place with lack. It's the only place in existence, is what they say in the hypnosis. So you're in a very special place where you come to advance your soul much faster than the other realms that aren't as polarized as Earth. So like other souls in other realms will take much longer to get to where we're going to go because we're here doing this. And this is like a super boost on your soul level for your eternal growth. And that's the law of one. That's what the law of one states.
So real quick, I want to go back to the last question about memory wipe. Although I appreciate everything your perspective on that. But I took it in a more of a literal sense. And if a memory wipe would happen, of course it could happen. You could be doing it on the daily, every time you take a selfie, every time you take a picture of somebody else. I mean, Men in Black has been around for a long time. The concept and idea has been out there. Do you think they haven't capitalized and perfected it yet, guys? So I think that could potentially happen, especially if we're connected to these things all the time. Now to the second question, what's my take on global warming? Global warming is just bullshit. That's what it
It's
is.
awful.
Global warming is nothing more than an organization from around the world to become even more billionaires by telling people they have the ability and the technology to change the weather pattern and cool our Earth so it doesn't get so hot that it melts the polar ice caps and could eventually drown us all. And we don't want that. And that's happening because people are doing it. But global warming is just a way to get rich. Similar to NASA, similar to the United Nations, similar to the World Economic Forum. All these things are ways that billionaires from around the world, all the bad guys, are becoming richer while the poor become poorer. And they're lies.
No.
Listen, we know from where we live, we've lived there for a while. We know how the seasons work. We know how the fucking weather patterns are typically on an annual basis. We live it, we breathe it. So,
Hey, no.
shit, that was loud as fuck.
That sounded like
Scared the
crank.
shit out of me.
Crap, that just was like going back a memory from a movie. That was a trip.
So it's like I know it's a hard pill to swallow, right? But of course, through carbon emissions, whether carbon emissions are fully real or not, we do, as human beings, as society, we are fucking up the atmosphere. Okay, we're fucking up our breathable oxygen. We're cutting down too many trees. We're removing places. We're making too much happen. Okay, so carbon emissions, in a way, I think we are fucking up our air quality. I don't think that it's because of global warming. Okay. In the
So
summer it's hot.
go ahead. Sorry, I thought you.
In the summer it's hot. In the fall it's not. I mean, that's life. I don't think it's global warming. I just think it's a way to embezzle our money.
They have literally
Won't even look at
admitted, like, done this research that they know for a fact. No, like it's not even a question. That the more CO2 that's in the air, the colder the Earth is, not the hotter. Everything that they've ever done, any of their research on for anything, past records, it's always colder the more CO2 that's in the air. But you know what? Cutting down all of our trees and producing less oxygen for us, well, that right there shrinks our brain's capacity. You need oxygen. You need that stuff. And they're cutting down the trees. And this is a theory on why some people believe giants aren't here anymore, is because there used to be massive trees, huge trees with tons of oxygen. And because they cut them all down, now there's less oxygen. So now none of the chameleons get as big, because you guys, dinosaurs aren't real. A triceratops is a chameleon. All of the lizards grew forever. They got as big as you could imagine, the lizards, because they grow based on their environment. And so they just grew. They were just lizards, chameleons, horny toads, all of the different lizards. Like the lizards were the dinosaurs, you guys. They just were bigger because we had big trees, huge, massive freaking trees. And if you've ever had a reptile, you know, if you have a bigger tank, it gets bigger. And if you have a littler tank, it stays smaller. This is how they work. They were able to get bigger because their environment was allowing it, right? But when they came in, did our reset, when they really fucked us up the last time, they removed all of the big trees. They removed all of the fruit. Antarctica in the ice, they found that they burnt 99% of all of the life on Earth about 250 years ago. So about 250 years ago, we're 1% of the vegetation right now that we were 250 years ago because of a fire. They found all of the ash in the Antarctic ice. And they know that they did something. They did something very bad to our home here. And whatever it is that they did is why we are in the situation we are in. They have stolen clarity and your wisdom. You don't know who you are. We think we're monkeys flying through rock, not us, but you know, people do. And it's fertile soil in your mind for deception, because look, now they could deceive you about God. They could deceive you about aliens. They could deceive you about extra land. How many different deceptions can be built on a space ball? More than you could count. They could stack deception to shit high, man. And it's all because of the globe. If that globe wasn't there, all of those deceptions would not be possible. You wouldn't be in a trance thinking you're floating through space 500,000 miles an hour. Like 500, that's a 500,000 miles an hour. And the stars don't change. And every star is moving 500,000 miles an hour with planets orbiting it. And they don't change either. They happen to fly in the same exact line because everything in the galaxy spins in one big circle. Shut up. If my day can be affected by a little orbit around the sun, because there's this thing called a selenial day and then a solar day. The stars move faster than the sun. The stars show up 4 minutes earlier than the sun every single day. Okay? 4 minutes every day. That's 1 day a year. Okay? This goes into the 13-month and the year thing, because 1 day a year, it adds up to 1 day a year with 52 months, 7 weeks in each month is 364 days plus 1 is a full real year. They're fucking with you. They're fucking with us all. And all of the stars moving and you're moving and spinning. And the only motion you see, not the 500,000 mile an hour flying through space, you see a spinning motion. And people think the globe is real because look at the spinning stars. The stars are moving. The stars are moving. If we were moving with everything they're telling us we were doing, there'd be a blur. It would be a blur because you'd be flying 1,000 miles an hour in a circle like this compared to 500,000 miles an hour in a straight line, and we don't see that movement. It's not in the sky. The earth is stationary. We are flat. And you are a beautiful creation.
Answer this question right here. I'm an exotic dancer.
What was that?
The question is, what do you do for a living?
What do I do for a living? As little as humanly freaking possible.
I'm just saying, I'm an exotic dancer.
As little as possible. Who the fuck wants to work their life away for a world that's just shitting on you? Right? Not me. Yes, breathing is super important. Your nose is where you need to breathe from. You know, breathing out of your mouth, if you mouth breathe, you are causing death on a cellular level at a massive freaking scale that you cannot even begin to understand. You need to breathe through your nose. because they compare the difference to drinking fresh spring water is breathing through your nose, and drinking out of a swamp is breathing through your mouth. That's how different it is because of the filtering process that your nose does. And it's super important to breathe right. Very important. And focusing on it takes your conscious where you're conscious. So if you're spending all of your conscious in your mind up here worrying about stuff, this is where you're at. But if you focus in your breathing and you leave this stuff alone, you'll learn how to control your brain. This is what breathing is all about, is controlling yourself, not letting the world control you. You control your breathing. Breath is life. Water is life. You control those two things and you will control your life.
I'm not a history teacher. I tried to learn as much as I can, and that's how I was able to decipher whether it was fact or crap.
School is not intelligence. Please do not confuse education with intelligence. Education is the removal of wisdom. That's what that is. You could go look into what the Rockefellers said about their education system that everybody's so fond of. We do not want wise people. We want educated people, because wise people will overthrow our system. Educated people will build our system. They'll stack it up for us, and we'll just sit on top and laugh at these educated sheep.
Yep. We're gonna teach you how to be smart enough to run the machine, but not how to run the company.
It is hilarious. Somebody says if you drive on a race car and look at the moon's not spinning above you. I've been trying to figure out how to make a video about this, because the stars are trillions of miles away. So our little circle would not be seen. They would all be doing their own circle. Every star would be doing its own circle. We wouldn't be doing a big circle. It would look like a little circle around each star all over. So every star would have a little circle instead of a big circle around the whole freaking earth. Oh my God. I cannot believe people believe that the stars in any way prove that Earth is a globe. Like, how do you know the Earth's a globe? Well, look at the stars. It's like, that's so unscientific and just ridiculous. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
No, I'm not a teacher. I just
Pat, you're not a teacher.
I'm thorough in my conversations.
School's it's funny because like school is for fools, like, and we used to not think that. Like teaching your children how to like know when
Which I thought I knew schools years ago.
like when authorities trying to trample on you. Like nobody takes their school from right now into real life. Sure, you learn how to read the clock and add numbers and stuff, which is cool. That's awesome. But the rest of the garbage is just like, the more you get, the dumber you are, because it's all wrong. They're purposely teaching you wrong because they don't want you wise.
Critical race theory.
Well, like people think 1 + 1 is 2, right? That's counting. 1 + 1 is 1, 2. You're counting 1. You know what I mean? And it's not adding. When you add something, like it's one person, a man plus a woman equals a man, a woman, and a child. That is adding something too, not counting, right? That's like there's a really cool documentary on like how math is the language of death, because it removes life out of it, because that's not how it works in nature. You don't add one tree to another tree and get 2 trees. Like they bloom, they grow, they have more trees. It's not how it works. And so it's a really cool breakdown on how everything they remove life out of removes life out of us. So like as they slowly pull it out of different things, it's removing it out of us because we're becoming physical, and the physical world's not alive. The spirit within is. And so we're becoming more physical because they're removing the life out of our realm here. And people are just going with the system, and it's just the system's going in the wrong direction.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Patrick. So, Pat, do you know that 10 + 10 and 11 + 11 equal the same thing?
My kid asks me something like this all the time, and I always get it wrong because I'm like, I don't know how to answer this thing. I know it's not supposed to be.
Because 10 + 10 is what? 20, right?
Somebody
What's
said
11 plus 11?
11 plus 22. Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
they equal the same thing.
It's 22. Gotcha. That's awesome.
That's
Nice
great.
little gag joke for the moment.
The bad joke. Oh,
Okay. I feel it. I felt it.
it was good. It was
I'm
good.
like-
It was good.
I'm like, damn, how high is this motherfucker right now?
But really, just so we're all clear, 1 plus 1 is totally 11. If you
Right.
see it any other way, then you're wrong.
Have you ever seen the video of in like communist places when they teach 1 plus 4? Like, I don't know, they're teaching math and the one kid was trying to answer it right, and the rest of the kids were saying it was wrong, and the teacher was forcing them to say it was wrong, and then the kid like refused to say it was wrong, so they killed him in front of the class, so none of the other kids would ever do it again. And it was like in a movie about how like they gained control over you through like mass manipulation, getting the
This
herd.
movie.
Yeah, it was insane. I don't know the name of it, but yeah, it was intense. Somebody showed it on TikTok. I saw the clip, which it was from a movie, but I saw the clip on TikTok.
I ain't gonna lie. I TikTok has banned me so many times that I don't even like going on it anymore.
TikTok's annoying. I found a little loophole as you just educational and like because if you read their privacy settings, it says that videos that are for educational purposes have a way like there's often going to be videos that should be banned that aren't because they're listed as an educational thing. So like if you do a viewer discretion and this is education before it, they have way more leniency.
I just do wet people's videos.
And then you get
And
banned for that.
Yeah,
Oh,
because they changed something in the guidelines that if you do something in your video that goes against their guidelines and I duet it, I also get hit for it. They must have just changed it recently because because I just got my shit back a couple months ago, and since then I've been banned 3 times because of that. My live gets suspended once every weekend for hate speech.
that's why I block all of them. Like I just can't because I will get mad and I'll say something. So I'm just like block. And then the first 10 minutes is often a little annoying, but like by the time the room's going, it's the best. I have the best viewers.
Bro, did you happen to there's that one guy, his name's Casey Industry.
Oh, I love Caleb. Yeah, Caleb's awesome.
Dude, man, I'm telling you, one mind at a time, one person at a time, one day at a
He
time.
gets tons of views. I'm like stoked to that, like, because he reaches a lot of people every day. And he's like,
Wants to know if you have an IG, bro.
do I have an Instagram? I don't. I started one, but I don't post to it. It's just not. It's so hard because I get a lot of. I try to interact with everybody. So what I try to do is keep it in one spot so I could respond to you guys because I love interacting and learning what you guys like and just being a part of a community. I see it's important to maintain like-minded people, and it's hard because I get so much on my phone that like I forget to text Pat back and stuff, and so like if I spread myself out too much, then it's gonna be even harder. So I've been trying to reel it in a little bit.
Bro,
That guy's got to be the only person in the world that doesn't have a TikTok.
Bro, I gotta tell you, honestly, what I like the most about your videos, like especially the ones where you're responding to somebody, not only are you proving them wrong, I love how when you get to the end and you're like, I still love you anyway. I fucking love that shit.
Oh, they
because
hate it.
that's literally like the person that I am. I have no problem telling anybody anywhere that I love them because I do. You're in my life for a reason, whether it's coincidental. Well, there's no such thing as coincidental. Whether it's predetermination or just by fate.
Exactly.
Every person you ever encounter in your life, you exchange energy. You exchange.
I think it's just because
Every
you banged
time.
the cousin.
Every time. That's what I was telling these guys. My heart's on the right side instead of the left. And so when I hug people, my heart actually touches their heart. So it's to me, that's how I know who you are. When I hug you, I feel so much about you. Like your intentions, like everything just comes racing in and I just get overwhelmed with who you are. And it's
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Sorry, guys.
I
But
hope
yeah.
I don't offend either one of you guys when I say this, but you guys are the two of the gayest heterosexual men I have ever met.
Bro, what's wrong with hugging people? I'm just saying.
You
I
know
hug
my thing about people
I
touching me.
I hug everybody. If you're in my life, I'm hugging you. It's just
Well, just know if we
I
were in
like
real life, I'd
Pat
hug
tries.
you.
Pat tries to hug me. It doesn't work.
I'm a
for him.
hugger. I hug when I first meet people. I was like, right now, it's just
I
a good
believe-
way to feel people out. Like you could
Yeah.
tell if they like people are really some people are like really weird and they don't even want to be touched. And like you're like, all right, well,
Yeah, no,
I know.
I'm the weird one. Don't.
And then I
don't
don't
like
hug
being
them
touched.
again, right? But it's like because some people are more reserved, and like that happens. It's not a bad thing for sure.
I'm a hugger though. I hug everybody if they let
I
me.
always had Uncle Remus.
Have you know what's awesome is have you ever been caught up in a grocery store line? You're waiting in line because it's taking forever. You start talking to people around you.
Oh yeah,
And then you had those random cool encounters with those same people where I ended up giving them a hug because they actually needed it.
some people need hugs more than you could even think about. Like some,
Change somebody's life for real.
Listen, I helped the random dudes end up at the gas station. Now I get discounted gas every day.
see, it's easier to be nice. It's what comes naturally to us. It's way harder to go against your nature to be a rude person. Like,
Well, mainly it's because he felt bad that he asked me. Because after he asked me, he looked down and noticed that I have a broken ankle.
oh,
He's like,
shit.
"Damn, the guy with a broken ankle just helped me get up." Fuck. Works out though, man. 60 cents a day helps.
Oh, are you kidding me? That adds up. Every dollar adds up in this economy,
Hell yeah, man. And I drive around for a living.
right?
It really adds up.
Fast, fast. And gas has gotten way more sketchy lately. It doesn't last as long.
Mm.
at
Oh
all.
hell no.
I think they're putting more ethanol in it or something.
There's a gas station out in it's the suburbs where I'm at. And for some reason, their gas is 30 cents cheaper than anywhere else. At anywhere.
And is it good
But-
gas?
I don't know. I won't go there to get it.
Yeah.
I ain't trusting that shit.
No, it's like AMPM gas. It's like they got caught with water in their tanks and like robbing people on their debit cards and stuff. Like AMPM just had a class action lawsuit because they were charging you to use your debit card and not telling you. And I filled up one time there in I have a Subaru STI and it gets 200 miles to the tank and that's it. It's a gas guzzler. And I filled up once with this gas and I only got 100 miles on a whole tank of gas. And I was like, well, that's never happening again. So I haven't been back. But I got part of the class action lawsuit because of that one time. They gave me $45. So I think it depends on how many times you did it. Like you got paid per time you did it, and I only did it once. So it was cool though. Nice little surprise.
Yeah.
There you go.
They are adding more ethanol because my Subaru is getting better gas mileage and it's tuned out and like it's an STI. So it's getting like 20 more miles to the gallon right now than normal, but it sputters when I start it. So I'm like, oh, I think it's ethanol because I don't have it tuned for ethanol. But when you're driving, it's better than when you're not driving. So I'm like, oh, so I could change the tuner, but my tuner's kind of broken, so I'm stuck. It's annoying.
So Pat,
So
you guys drafted nothing but trash players. I know this isn't really the vibe of the night, but I just keep on seeing the fucking Bills hat in my face. You guys ain't gonna do shit, man.
we'll see what happens. I have no idea. I have no idea what happened. Anything to do with the draft.
I'm letting you know. I'm letting you know right now. You guys got nobody. You guys got trash players. Be ready for the Redskins to win Super Bowl.
Redskins? I don't even watch football. My kid watches.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Commanders.
I forgot. Yeah, they did change. Is that what they picked? Because it was Washington for a minute.
Yeah. I don't. As a native guy, I don't understand how calling us Redskins is racist. We call each other skin. If you were a native dude, I would walk up to you and be like, "What's good, my skin?"
See, I have native in me. My great grandpa was all native. Blackfoot from South Dakota, or maybe it was Apache, one of the two. But yeah, I haven't gotten
Oh.
tested, but I know, like, I've seen my family tree, and so for sure. And my grandma was tiny, and my other grandpa on the other side was like 7'4". So I'm like, I'm like, what is up with that? I wonder what's going on with my giant grandpa. Like, what?
No, I'm
It's-
actually one of those weird people that my race is on my birth certificate.
Really?
Yeah, it has my father's race and my mother's
Oh yeah,
race.
'cause they do ask. Yeah, mine just says white though, because
Well, yeah, I'm mixed. My mom's white, my dad's native. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I wish it
But,
would
like,
have said on my birth certificate. That would have been cool. That would have been a smart thing to do. Because my kids,
but yeah, it's not because it's not on any of my kids' birth certificates.
Yeah,
None
my
of them
kids
have the race
more
on it.
than me, because my kid's grandpa was native, so he'd have more than I do. But he's Arizona Navajo, which is a little different of a story.
Oh yeah, they're probably like the Iroquois. They all go through the mother. So if your mom's not native, you don't get shit.
Interesting. So is my dad that was native, so I'd be screwed.
Yeah,
My mom has no native in her.
my sister's old man's like that. His dad's native and his mom's white, so he doesn't get anything that his tribe gets.
Oh, that sucks. That's weird that it passes through the mom.
Yeah, it's just how they do it. Like our tribe doesn't do it like that. It doesn't matter which parent it is. You know, what I mean, it's in your blood. You get
Yeah,
half from each
yeah.
one. It's
That's what
weird.
that doesn't make sense for sure.
But it goes with their traditions, the way they pass down the clan names. It always went through a clan mother. So the way the Iroquois in this area did it, it goes through the mother.
So his
So-
mom's dad was almost all native, so he's got more in it than I do for sure.
Hell yeah.
You
That's
know?
what's up.
Did you
Yeah,
know that the last
So
time? Did you know that the last time you clapped was actually you never stopped clapping? The only difference is the amount of time in between claps.
Yeah, I heard that before.
It's fucking funny, man.
so you guys feeling safe?
Feeling
yeah.
safe.
Feeling like the universe has come up and give you a hug and pinch your nipple a little bit.
Hugs from the universe. That's what it always is. Every time you hug somebody, it's from the universe.
Well, see that's well, I don't like people touching me, so that's why I smoke. The universe does it for them.
There you go. Heck yeah.
I don't know, man. Maybe I'm weird, but unless you're my kids,
Oh, being weird is good, so don't even be you. Don't worry about it.
Hey, Derek.
Yeah.
Before we end this episode, I'm just giving you a heads up. So when we hit stop, you can still stay on the meeting without it recording.
Huh?
We usually have like a post game talk.
Oh, gotcha,
afterwards.
gotcha. I'm gonna have to go. I had cooked my kid a little snack right before I jumped on, but I gotta do dinner.
Right.
So I'm gonna have to jump off as soon as we're done. Sorry, I wish. But I might be able to bring this over in there and do it. So we'll see. We'll try. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, it goes.
I think it was a pretty good safety meeting.
Oh yeah.
I'm feeling pretty safe. I feel like it was a good exchange of information between all of us.
Yeah,
Nice energy.
everybody's asking where because they want to save this and rewatch it and check it out on YouTube. It's
yeah. We're on YouTube on a safety meeting. You can also
then
find
there'll
us on TikTok. You can also find us on Facebook. We also have a Twitch page. It's Cousin JoJo 910. We normally stream on Wednesdays and the weekend sometime.
right on. Yep. So how long does it take before it'll post onto YouTube so they don't miss it and think it's not?
Oh,
there?
as soon as we hit end broadcast, it'll be right back up on YouTube.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
This is live, baby. This is live.
Yeah, it's live. Like it records live to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch all at the same time.
Right on. Heck yeah.
We don't need to rehearse shit. We just got to be ourselves.
That's
And that's
Like-
the whole purpose of safety meeting.
this is what they're taking away from us is our individual like love for ourselves and each other. Like they're stealing so much that it's like I don't even know how to word it because we would be so much better to each other if we knew the truth and if we weren't all put through a system that you go to school to answer the same question the same way as the same doesn't matter who you are and how like intelligent you are. Your education's the same as the whoever. and your answer has to be the same. You line up, you wait, you raise your hand. They train us to try to be exactly what they want us to be to the team.
It's funny. Our second episode, me and Pat, I think it was our second or third episode, we actually went and attacked the school system.
It's bad. It was founded by the Rockefellers. If you want to defend the Rockefellers education system, then sure, whatever. Be my guest, but you're making an awful mistake. That's for sure.
But for your viewers out there, if they would like to go on YouTube, we have plenty of topics. We got some topics on there about how, porn stealing your energy.
Yep.
It's a true thing. They're virtually same thing with those people that do like astrology over the internet. They're just as bad. They're stealing your energy right over the internet. You're not getting anything from that. Only they receive something from it.
Right.
Why else would they be popping into your inbox, right? Like
exactly.
They just show up to give you something. I've fallen for it once, and I was like, not doing that again. Like I've had some people who were like just telling me stuff without like trying to lure me into shit, and then I've had people trying to lure me in. I'm like, you guys, like, no.
This person would like you to check out the book called "Breaking the Spell of the Ivory Tower."
For sure. I wish I could screenshot. Spell of the Ivory Tower. I wish I could write a note somewhere, but I will. I'll check it out. Thank you for recommending that.
Never heard of that book.
Me either. Let's see. Oh, I see the comments here now. I could have changed it a long time ago. That's hilarious.
I didn't know you guys could do that. I didn't know you guys could see the comments on your end. That's why I show them across the screen every time.
I didn't know until just now either. By Jerry Marzina and a lady. Cool. Thanks, Ozra. Appreciate that. Create a TikTok. Come check out my page if you want. You don't need to have tons of stuff going on, but check it out. There's some cool stuff on there.
Facts.
Might just learn something.
We kill the globe daily, pretty much. I don't know if I made a video today. I posted an electromagnetism video today, which is awesome. But my mom came to town today, so I was
The
with
single most important thing that you guys need to learn about when we keep constantly referencing the globe is the millions of lies created because they got away with it the first time.
They almost got away with it. They almost did. But people caught on. I would have never looked into it if it wasn't for like Eric Dubay and Dave Wise and like those people. I got lucky. I never found the Flat Earth Society once, thank God, because I probably would have taken a lot longer to figure it out. But everything that came across my page was legit people like helping stuff, which was what we needed. So,
Right, but the Flat Earth Society, I think, is
garbage.
I think it's just another form of programming.
It is awful. Somebody needs to explain why every time you search up globe, the first thing that pops up is the Earth's not flat. Every single search that involves the globe, whether you're writing globe or not. If you ask, how does the wind form? The Earth's not flat. Why is the sky blue? The Earth's not flat. It's disgusting. It almost makes me sick when I'm trying to look stuff up. I'm like, fuck, you guys you're trying really hard. Holy crap. Like, unbelievable.
I would like everybody out there to do me one favor in your daily lives. To never be a cheating scumbag piece of shit bastard like fucking Tom Brady. I didn't get to say it a lot this episode, but fuck you, you bastard. I hate you. Fuck you, Tom Brady. Oh, it's just a thing. We just don't like Tom Brady.
He's an
asshole. It's a football thing. He just won way too much, and
I don't like Tom Brady either, but yeah.
He's a fucking dick.
That's all. There doesn't need to be a catch.
Yeah, no, there's no catch. Like, see, this is like me and Pat are yin and yang within itself. Pat is the ultra always positive, I got this, mentality, and I'm just the ultra negative dickhead. We work out perfect. I mean, I'm all great intentions. I don't mean any harm. It's just fuck Tom Brady.
Yeah,
it needs to be out there in the universe somewhere, right?
Right there it is.
I got a homework assignment for both of y'all, and I think you're gonna find it amazing. This evening, use whatever you want, whether it be Google, DuckDuckGo, whatever you use as get your own VPN, whatever you got to do. Research the Great Fire of, and fill in a blank with whatever cities around
Yep,
you.
I've done that. Shit's
And I think
crazy.
you're gonna find a lot of similarities. Remember earlier this evening we were talking. You said about 250 years ago something happened, and then it's approximately around the time period, early
It was the
1800s.
fires. That's what I was talking
There's
about.
these
Exactly.
fires everywhere, the great fires of everything,
Of
and
everything.
you can literally just pick any city, any city. Like the nearest city to me, big city, is Charlotte, right? So you can type in the Great Fire of Charlotte, and it'll bring up any historical document from any search engine about what they have on it. You'll find this.
They fried us, you guys. They fried us and they killed everybody who was intelligent, and they left on like I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I think we're all like descendants of the people who weren't like in the cities pumping knowledge out and wisdom and stuff. Because I'm almost certain that they went and wiped all of those people out. Because if you look up like the Great Orphan Train and all of the different like histories, the real history of the world that they don't teach you, that shit is crazy. It is crazy. There's something happened really bad. Like humanity used to be super united, and up until like the 1700s, we didn't do war and stuff like that. They lied to us about that. So you should check it out. Like they fabricated our evil history to make you think that that's why we're in it today. Google searched the average age of a world border for the world. It's 100 years for the average age of a country in the world. 100 fucking years. How does that make sense to anybody? That when I saw that, I was like, wait a second. 100 years? That's crazy.
He's not bullshitting. And if you want some real proof, okay, I want you to go outside. I want you to go start to take a walk into the woods. And when you look at these trees, you're gonna look at them, and I want you to look at them real hard and try to guess how old they are. Just take a guess, right? And you'll find that if you have a pretty good sense of Mother Nature, then you'll be able to tell that yeah, this tree's about 50 years old at least. It's pretty good in size. You'll know this tree is about 100 years old at least, and then you get your really old ones that are about 200 years old. But other than that, okay,
Shalom, friend.
but
Howdy.
but if we had this great gigantic tree that supported our initial existence, the tree of life, there's multiple trees of life are all around the world. But anyway, uh, uh, there. See what just happened is I had a moment, I got stoned, I just forgot what I was.
Isn't it funny that the only way to prove how old these trees are is by carbon dating things? And then carbon dating doesn't work because if you know the age of what you're carbon dating, it's wrong. But if you don't know the age of it, it's accurate. It's amazing.
It's always wrong. This is the globe. This is the inconclusive globe proofs that they have is shit like carbon dating. It is. How do you know the weather? How do you like all? There's so many different things.
I got you.
Yeah, that would affect it. Like it could turn like that in 10 years if the conditions were right. What do you like? Like really, guys? They're lying about everything. It's
Where
all
did the trees come from? That's where I was going with it. I remember now. Where did the trees come from? Why do we have a whole civilization of 100-year-old trees?
why aren't they older?
200-year-old. Why aren't they bigger?
Why aren't they older? You know, the average age of a tree on Earth is 200 years. The average age, there's only like 12 trees in existence that are over like 400 or 500 years old. Like that exists right now, and they're all protected. They're not out there. They've whacked them all down, and even that age is very young for a tree. Like you want to believe the Earth is billions of years old, and your trees on the Earth are 200. You don't see a problem with this story you're being told. Like, come on, guys.
Facts. So if everything burned down and they had to start over, there was some trees that made it, but there weren't many.
Pretty sure the redwoods are the oldest forests around. Like I'm almost certain of that. And they're not even over 400 years or something like that. Those are badass trees. I have an obsession with trees. I love trees. I love trees. I always try to go find cool trees to like in Oregon. When a tree falls and another tree grows over it, that tree will eat the tree that it grew over, and it'll develop a tunnel in between the tree that you could go into. And because that tree was hollow, it'll be hollow for like 12 feet up. So like you get inside of these trees and it's literally like a house. You climb up, and you know those owl holes that you see owls in? Those that like literally exist on some of these trees. And you climb up from the bottom of it, and you could go up into the tree that way and climb it from the inside, because another tree died underneath it as it grew. So it grew like this over it. And then this part took a while before it closed up. And so you could climb up through that part. And it's awesome. It's so cool. I love me and my kid go to the coast just to climb these trees. It's awesome. I'm pretty sure it is a sequoia tree. Is the oldest one. We have some here in Oregon that are not that old, but they're the type of tree that lives very long. Very cool tree. Pretty sure it's the sequoia.
I got a
In
really
tower time, I promise. I'm gonna get on the internet. I'm gonna figure out how to do the timer thing this weekend. So the next time we go live, there's gonna be a notification. You have a little countdown timer, and you'll know. Just we gotta get Pat to be on time, so that way the show starts on time. And we're not saying, hey, we're gonna be live at 8:30, 9 o'clock, and then we don't start until fucking 12.
I'm sorry for my shortcomings.
You sinned. You're in trouble. Damn you forever.
Punctuation has never been my thing.
Well, get the fuck away from me, then, cat.
I hug trees. Me too. I hug trees. I teach my kid to speak to trees and just touch them and talk to them, because trees are like, that even the Hebrew people believe trees are souls that are just like not people, and like that they carry information and stuff, and they actually can feel your emotions. They've literally proven
I
that
think
plants,
Avatar was teaching us that, actually.
literally, they connect a lie detector test to these plants, and somebody will think about burning the plant and the plant will spike. They'll think about watering the plant or being nice to it. It'll get excited in a different way, but when it's feared, it'll strike. And then others, it'll move like that. And
Did
like
you know when you cut grass,
yeah, it's insane.
the smell of fresh cut grass is actually the grass just screaming out to other plant life, to letting it know that it's in danger. We take their scream as a smell.
Yeah, because that's our sense to it. Because it's in
Yeah.
a different realm. Like it's in a whole different dimension that our nose could pick up on. I love that you said that, because I've always wondered, I'm like, is smell in a different dimension? Like, really think about it. Like, you can't see this stuff. Sure, they could particle test it and tell what it is, like on a microscopic level. Well, maybe even not. Maybe they just, I don't know. I've always thought that was cool, because
I kind of think that all your senses are just different ways of your body's picking up different frequencies.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like your eyes are picking up the third dimension, and like your nose could be in all 12 of them, right? And
Yeah,
each
it's like
doesn't,
kind
because
of
it's
like
not affecting your vision. So it's
kind of like to bounce off of what you were going off with earlier, with the whole you lose your, you gain your full consciousness when you're 7. Mormons, they don't baptize you until after you turn 8, because they believe that until that moment you have a veil that's not lifted, that's still not lifted over your eyes yet, and you can still see the other realm, and you have all these senses, you still feel all of the other universes. So that's not how they explain it, but that's how I interpreted it. So until you turn 8, you have all of that.
Yep.
So it's all talking about the same shit from a different story, bro.
That's what I'm saying. It's all the same story, just different names, different titles, different ethnicities telling it. And that, because we've been trained to hate each other, we'll never figure out that we've all been told the same story. And, the truth is the truth, and there is no other truth. And we're the ones that are caught up in a lie. The truth is the truth, and it's everywhere and all around the world, but it's been divided through skin color and stuff like that, and religion.
I got something I need to know, and this is a good safety meeting question. So you're in Oregon. How's the bud, man?
How's the bud here? It's abundant and badass as hell. It's Oregon's the only place in the world that ever had weed left after they went recreational. So Canada ran out within like 2-3 weeks. California ran out like when they first started. We had 3 million excess pounds like that we were stuck with in our system because like when it went legal, because I
That
grow.
doesn't mean it's good weed though.
Yeah, yeah, it's all everything here. I used to have like put my stuff in dispensaries through the medical program, and they changed that program when it went legal, and now it's not the same. So my
Just
growth,
saying, bro.
yeah,
I think you can FedEx that me. I mean, you can FedEx us all some stuff. We can just sample it.
it's good.
We'll bring you on and we'll try it, and we'll be like, so
Yeah,
this is it.
I do.
I mean-
I grow for myself. Like I won't smoke other people's stuff. Oregon's really strict, but so I still grow my medical for myself. And like I smoke that just because it's obvious since it's been legal. We used to get it for $2 a gram for the top quality bomb, $2. Yeah, when it was medical. But when it went recreational, it's like $12 now. Sure, you could get some cheap stuff, but it's cheap stuff, and
There's a reason why it's taken too long to really legalize mushrooms, because they know as soon as they do, that's when you truly give people the key to unlock themselves.
They're legal here too. They just legalized mushrooms for medicinal use. They're going to be prescribed in 4 years now because it was 5 years last year. Maybe it's even faster. I don't know, but in a couple of years, it's going to be legal recreational, where you could buy them at a store like cannabis. If we make it that long.
So I gotta ask you again. You guys feeling safe?
Oh yeah.
'Cause I ain't gonna
Aiden,
lie.
watch the dog.
I gotta go ice my foot. It's hurting a little bit.
I'm gonna have to go cook dinner. So
So it's been great, man.
yeah, you guys as well.
Like, just remember, everybody out there that's watching, sometimes in life when you feel like you're drowning, best thing to do is just breathe. I know it sounds
Breathing
contradictory.
is life.
but-
And go do it on a lawn. Go sit outside in nature somewhere and breathe. Just sit
You as
down,
well, my friend.
take your shoes off, and just breathe and focus on your breathing and see how much things change for you. Your day will get better. All that energy will go right into the ground, and you'll feel better. So yeah, recreational sucks. It killed it here, guys. It ruined it here. Medical was way better. It was easy to get your card. Everything was cheaper. The quality was better. Everything was better. It was everything. Now it sucks. So I would be careful. If you could get it, don't vote for it to be recreational. If it's medical in your state, you have all the rights of a medical patient. They don't need to know you're a medical patient. You just, will this be used against me? Yes, then shut up. That's how that works. Like you don't have to give them your name. If you're a passenger in a cop car and they go, "What's your name?" You just ask them, "Will my name be used against me in a court of law?" And then they'll say, "Yeah." And then you just say, "Okay, well then I'm gonna invoke my right to remain silent," and then be done with it. And they can't do anything after that.
Love y'all.
Thank you guys all so much.
Listen.
Hell yeah.
Don't forget
Y'all
to
can
hit
go
that
check
like
him out
and
on the
subscribe.
TikTok.
Yeah, check me out, guys. It's Derek, just like it was here. I use 0.2 account the most. My 0.1 is so shadow banned. Or my normal one's super shadow banned and ridiculous. But on my number 2 account is where I hang out the most. If you guys feel the need to go check it out, some cool stuff. The globe dies every day on my page. So
Facts.
Love y'all.
Love
you
y'all.
guys.
Good.
Peace out.
Take care.